are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, hopefully enough today, and sometimes we go deep, but not today. None of that today. Today, we're taking questions. But first, before even that, let me introduce you to friend of the show, loyal listener, marketing genius, entrepreneur. What the fuck, Nisa? that's how I'm going to introduce you. And if we had monetization, we'd be demonetized. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. It occurred to both of us that we've been making so many changes lately that it may not be clear to everybody what's going on. What are we doing? Why aren't we live? Why are we doing pre-recorded episodes and being in the chat? Why are we asking for money? Things like that. There is so much to what we're doing right now, and there's a reason for everything, and not everybody's clear on it, and everybody's confused. They're a lot like my grandmother before she passed. So let me just get one thing out of the way first. If you do have any questions, try to hold them for now. Let's keep it to color commentary and everything like that. We're going to be opening the floor to your questions since this is an Ask Me Anything, an AMA. Surprise factoid, not everybody knows what an AMA is. So live and learn. In the meantime, Nisa, why don't you give us a little intro into like how you got involved in this conversation, and then maybe we could just jump into your grilling me for answers to everybody's burning questions.
Thank you for having me, Dave. I always wanted to say that. You gave me shout outs for helping sometimes, and people are like, help with what? You're not on the podcast. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Just chatting and, about stuff and things. And, it entered on the, like, oh, okay, so if we're going to make money out of it, and by we, I mean, Squawking Dead. How you're gonna do it, how much you could charge, and what kind of platforms you could use. There's, I don't know many. I know Patreon, and I didn't know Ko-Fi. I had no idea what Ko-Fi was until you guys started using it. And there's another one that I heard about, but I was like, okay, you can use something like that and be more inclusive with everyone who's watching, and have their opinions and everything. And we started having that, like, I think a conversation that took like all night long. Right.
It was a combination of what can we do to try to maximize on creating more content. Actually, like the end result of our conversation is that we doubled our content by making almost like a freemium model. So where most people get everything for free. I don't think many people understand that what we do by doing things the way we're doing now, most people aren't missing out on anything. We release the podcast like any other podcast. Most podcasts are not live. Most podcasts are pre-recorded. Now the difference is that we are making ourselves available on streaming platforms like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Mixer, Twitch. Yeah, those 6. So there's a little bit of that component on, and usually what the trend is that people will go live rather than create pre-recorded videos and posting them online. We kind of split the difference where we actually create the video, but we go live so that we could be in the chat as it premieres, and we can extend the conversation beyond, we can have people call us out on anything we missed. And this is whether you help support the show or not, because then you have the option of saying, oh, it's a shame you didn't have me in the recording, because then we could have fixed it then and there. And yeah, that's true. But we that's the way we're kind of working it. And so we can be there with you when you make those comments, and we can be like, oh, you're right, we're assholes and stupid. Oh, we got something wrong.
Yeah, I think that confused a lot of people because, after you started doing this, why are you doing both? Because, you're pre-recording this, and only is it subscribers or just, Ko-Fi backers?
It's whatever. I mean, it's what I call it.
Yeah.
I call it coffee backers. So technically, the word is ko-fi.com, right? /Squawking Dead, actually, which is in the corner there, that little thing in the corner, the little marquee. What that does is that site basically is a means for you to support the podcast. And for as little and probably lower than a cup of coffee, basically. Let's start with why our conversation came about, because there was a part of me that was saying, I can't seem to push enough content to keep people satisfied. But also there was another component, which is not a lot of people know about this. It's not something that I've been open about. I work in IT. That's my full-time job. It's very demanding. I work long hours. Keep in mind, I used to do that, and I actually used to go out right afterwards and be a part of the singer-songwriter circuit. I would go out for hours on end watching other artists play. Then up comes my slot. I play. I get home at 1 a.m. and then I have to get up at 6 a.m. and do it all over again. That was my life for a very long time.
Yeah.
That was unsustainable. However, you'd think that a person would not do the same thing twice. Like, hell is repetition, right? So, and yet I did. And so I started this podcast with actually OG Squawking Dead Carol G, who actually came up to me, and we kind of came up to each other over the summer of 2017, I think it was. And then we're like, do you want to do this thing? You have experience. I had experience with podcasting back in 2004 when podcasting was first a thing, when nobody was listening to podcasts, basically. So we were like really, really early. I was part of an outfit called BFN Networks, and we're just a bunch of 20-year-olds reading true but really strange news, commenting on it, and being 20-year-olds, misogynists, all that stuff. So, typical 20-year-old hormone-filled guys. And then, eventually we just dispersed. We went our own way. I went into music more. I built up a presence in New York City, and then I did a couple things for many years, and then eventually we parted ways, and then, I got married, and then things were kind of settled in, and then I started the podcast kind of a year and change into my marriage. And then we had this conversation, I think just like I think it was 2019. We had this conversation, I think early summer or midsummer, something like that. And I hadn't put it into effect until The Walking Dead season 10, when that started, because I wanted to start at least at the top of the season to kind of get things started that way. And it took a long time. We went live for the first episode, I think maybe even the second one, but then we started doing the things. So the reason why we had that conversation though was because I've been doing IT work for, I think it was, I'm 41 now, and I've actually been in the business for about 30 years, since I was 11. I was actually working as an intern in the summers for 2 years. Then I turned 13, then I was a full-time paid intern, and then over the summers. And then for the summer jobs after that, I was a full-time employee, or full-time for the summer until I was 18, and so on and on till 41. And so I've been in this business a long time, and I've gotten a reputation, and I've made a lot of money, and not a lot of money. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this.
IT. My brother, he's in IT, so he's an IT guy. He's gonna graduate this year on programming. So he's on school, and during the afternoon he's working, and at night he's just playing and yelling at his computer. But he's 23.
Oh, he's already yelling at his computer. Yeah, you got to watch him.
Yeah, he's 23. What else is he gonna do? But it's not a lot of money, but it's something he loves doing.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he still loves doing it too. I remember when I had a colleague who's still in the company with me, and he was 23, and I think I was about 26, 27, and I told him, dude, and you can give this advice to your brother: do yourself a favor, don't take on more than you feel like you can handle, because eventually it's going to catch up with you. When you start in IT, you want to be that guy with the answers. You want to be that guy that has the solutions, and you want to be the one to implement them. And there's a part of you that wants to do everything, knock it all down, go to the next thing, knock it all down, take 3 things on at once simultaneously, go from screen to screen. But that does catch up with you, and it does run out. And so I didn't listen to my own advice. And so I guess the bottom line is really, to even go back to what we're saying now, is that there's a part of me that wants to get out of that kind of mess and go into this kind of mess. Part of me does want to, and actually I think I mentioned some of this in our morning squaffy titled The Future of Squawking Dead. In that, Rachel has a really good pitch about how we should go on after Talking Dead, going deep into the episode. As a thing, AMC should hire us.
Great idea. That is a great idea.
Yeah, Talking Dead followed by Squawking Dead. Yeah. It sounds good, but I think toes will be stepped on. But we'll see. We'll see, right? Right, AMC? Right? So the thing that I said was that I speak to people all the time about the ideas they have for podcasting. And I do speak to people also who have ideas about going into different fandoms. Like I know Blazy Gardner, shout out to her. She talks about Better Call Saul a lot and her insane love for Kim Wexler. So like, why not do like a Better Squawk Saul or something like that? Or why not do Squawking Westworld or something like that?
Yeah.
You know, and so I could produce those and not have a voice and not talk so much, you know, and I can be the dude in the background in the shadows, editing your podcasts, putting them up, doing the social media outreach, or being involved however you want me to be involved, and then, you know, make money that way, and then go into that model. Now, I'm not saying Squawking Dead is perfect. Look, I'm barely paying attention to you guys in the chat. Which is not, you know, we're not at that portion yet. You know, I want to give shout outs to obviously like Thorgon 9, you know, he's there. Walani's there. She's been talking about how as part of her Squaffy backing, she was able to see our episode early because we gave her the unedited podcast. You know, that's just a little benefit that we give people who just give $3 a month or just $3, and then you get 30 days of access. And so we post the unedited, we post like a link to our Google Drive where the episode's kept. And by the way, I should stop right now and apologize to Nisa because she's had problems doing this, and I have not addressed them, and I don't know how to address them, and I feel so bad, you know, but here we are. And she's been nice enough. She's like, I forgive you. I'll still do this thing with you. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of why we're doing what we're doing. Is like, okay, we want to make it worth your while. Like if you're going to support us, you could just support us and be a nice person, or we can make it worth your while. We can give you the unedited versions where we go off into wild personal tangents sometimes. We'll start off with a pre-show where we're getting set up, and then we say stupid things. Somebody burps, somebody vapes, somebody says, I gotta get a water, and then we say funny things that will never make it into the show. And then there's always the post-show where lately we've been watching YouTube videos. We will do a screen share. And not only that, I've been talking to a bunch of people on the side about how I've been toying with the idea of doing a live watch of The Walking Dead, like where we all watch it for the first time via screen share, and I can change the optimization of the video so that it's a little bit more streamlined, it's a little bit more comfortable, and people can see it comfortably on their screens. And then we all get to like either in the chat or we can all talk like in just like a full, like all of us have, you know, over a voice talk, you know, react in real time, be like, oh shit, like, oh dang, Daryl got hit, you know, and like things like that. So
yeah, like a live reaction thing online.
Yeah, and we'd have to limit it to just coffee backers because it's not something we can stream publicly, or else we'll get hit majorly. Yeah. And also people will hate us for spoiling the show, for sure.
Yeah.
So there's that. And it has to be private. Like there's no other way around it.
Yeah. There is no way. Yeah, it's like every reaction video you see on YouTube. I mean, it's people watching together and then they post it. So it's nothing live or anything. Right.
And they want to have it ready, right? They want to have it ready before the show so that when they show the reaction video, you know, it's ready like Monday morning or whatever it is.
Yeah, and it's edited. Right. Everything is perfect because, you know, you have to put the screen there, like to show what you're watching, and so people can see you too. I talked to Rachel about doing that, about doing reaction videos, but then I thought... Yeah, that was like a year ago, I think. I was talking to her like, I think I'm gonna do it, and then I was like, I'm gonna do it. I did it once, and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. It's so much work. I mean, the after part, which is editing, I had to edit so much, and I'm like, no, this is hell. I'm out.
Do they require that? How long are your reaction videos supposed to be, or do you just have to post them to YouTube, right?
Yeah, I mean, I recorded like the entire episode, but I cut it to just certain parts of the episode that were like, you know, more exciting, or that my reactions were like funnier, because some reactions were really funny, like me drinking a beer and dropping it on my face. Like I still have to post that sometime, but I don't know if it's worth doing it every single weekend because I already have a lot to do. I have so much to do. doing.
Right. You have a lot of responsibilities that people don't know about, by the way.
Exactly. And, you know, doing this, it's fun. It's so fun. But I don't know. I'm not doing it. Maybe I'll do it next season. And I don't know, season 11 maybe. But, you know, who knows?
Yeah. Or maybe your mom goes partying for the weekend. You'd be like, I got the house to myself. Maybe I could do a reaction video. Maybe.
Yeah, like, you know, like just my mom goes out and I just start risky business. I'm Tom Cruise. Out of
yeah,
the sudden,
I saw that. Nicely done.
Yeah, that's me. No one's home. I'm Tom Cruise. Yes.
Yes.
So,
I can
but
yeah,
that. This was asked before, and I think Thorgon asked on Instagram as well. He asked Rachel, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, just, you know, correct me, Thorgon, if he's watching.
Yeah, he's watching.
Okay. Can anyone be a guest without paying on your podcast?
Yeah, so that's
a guest host. A guest host.
Well, that's a really good question, because back in season 9, when things were looking like Carol and I, because I did several episodes by myself, and it looked as though things were getting a little dire, and I needed to at least have somebody to fill in with me at the time. So I was basically throwing it out there to some people who have basically kind of podcast talent or like online personality talent, people who are in radio, people who keep up those kinds of chops, people that also do presentational work or something like that. The thing is, I didn't do I don't remember if I did like a call to action kind of thing or whatever it was, but I may have on one podcast or another. I know I did it a couple times in Fear the Walking Dead. I did it when we were doing Fear the Walking Dead season 4 on the episode while I was talking about it. I left it probably at the end. And every now and again, probably on the podcast, I said that. But at the end of the day, what it all ended up coming down to was I was the one looking out for those people. I would basically look at other people's podcasts. So I've spoken to so many people, actually, and I can't talk about it because I don't want to blow anybody's spots.
Yeah.
Because, and that's okay, because the thing is there's no drama, but I'm just saying no, I'd rather focus on my own podcast, or, oh no, it's not really for me. As much as I like The Walking Dead, I probably don't have the time. Most of it was I don't have time to do it. I'm focusing on my thing. But occasionally you get, so I feel like I lucked out way in the beginning when, as you may or may not know, we had Ashley Weidman on, pretty much last year. A month, give or take a month. And I didn't think that she would answer my DM, but she answered fairly quickly. She was looking for people to talk about the show again because, as seasons go on, people drop off. And so we developed a rapport. I had her on. She had her little iPhone, just like your iPhone headset thing, and technical difficulties, but we had the show anyway. You can still see that show now. It's one of the first specials, I think. I can't tell you the exact episode, but maybe afterwards, maybe in the episode notes, I'll sneak it in there. But yeah, so I looked for her because I knew that she was on. I know she and I, when she was on Talking Dead and talking about the notebook that she would use, and it was a lot like Yvette Nicole Brown, and
I remember.
Yeah, and she was talking about things that I was talking about at the same time in the episode that nobody I knew was talking about, and we just clicked. It's like we have the same brain, we need the same hive mind on, and not that that's always a great thing, but in her case, it was a really good thing, because once she and I would get rolling on a thought, we'd be egging each other on. It's like, yeah, and remember this? Yeah, but what about that? Yeah, that's so cool. And so it would be kind of like that. We'd feed off of each other's energy is what it is. And so from then on, it was like, oh, I'm doing this wrong. I should keep looking out for other people. I should curate who's going to be the host of the show, to be hosting. Now, mea culpa, at the time, I called them guest hosts, and that's my fault. And at that actually caused some static because, at the time I was going through a couple things when it comes to the show. Not a lot of people know that when you're trying to do something creative on the side, there's so many pressures involved. Look, this thing that I do here, the Squawking Dead thing, it can sometimes strain my marriage. It sometimes strains my work life. Right now, if my work emails me right now, it's off. I don't know. And if I find out later that, I was trying to to reach you, but we couldn't get to you. That can cause problems with my work. That's the money that I use to fund this project, right? Yeah. So it's like a balancing act. And this thing that we're doing right now, you'd think it's free, but it's not free. and it's not to say that people, like Rachel doesn't pay a dime. Carol doesn't pay a dime. Chris doesn't pay a dime.
That was a question.
Yeah, Chris doesn't pay a dime to host a show. Ashley doesn't pay a dime to host the show, and Meg hasn't paid a dime to host the show at all, you know? So just so people know, that's not how that works. And I could see how that's like, how people would be confused by that. But throughout this thing, I naturally kind of gravitated towards finding the talent, you know, through my own eyes. So, but also like, you know, my thing is that I don't like to put the burdens that I have to go through every day, like the social media outreach, the recording, the editing. Lately, I've been kind of relinquishing some of that stuff, right? I've been relinquishing some of those duties simply because like people like Rachel and Carol and Chris and even Ashley sometimes, because she's a full-time teacher, in case people don't know, which is why she hasn't been on the show a lot. She's a full-time elementary school teacher. And a mom. Yeah, and a mom, right? And my wife is a teacher too. And I know that grind. And you're talking about somebody who sleeps like 9:30, 10 o'clock, wakes up at 5 a.m. And between the time she comes home and the time she sleeps, she's doing lesson plans. So there is no room for the show. And if there is, it's dedicated to kids. So she's stuck. But yeah, I want to go back to the hosting thing. So just to be clear, they're not guest hosts. There's another thing that I want to be clear. Though they are hosts, they are talent. They are beautiful. They are awesome. They are the thing that keeps me going when I don't feel like going anymore. I mean, at the end of the day, this project, I'm the beating heart of this project. That is true. That I can't run away from that. When you DM Squawking Dead, it is me. It may not always be me. It may not always be me in the future, but for now, it's me. Twitter is me. Facebook's me. That's all me. Who pays the bills? It's me. And it's a lot of bills. And if I can jump into that, because I think we can talk about that now. Lately, I've been trying to be more and more transparent about how much this shit costs, because
I mean, it's on the website.
Which one is it again? Which website?
It's on the Ko-Fi.
What's the full URL? Okay. I was going to get
Come on. It doesn't appear on the iPhone thingy.
ko-fi.com/squawking dead. I was trying to get you to picture me because I'm a shit heel. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know it's Ko-fi and I know it's Squawking Dead.
Yeah.
I know there's a link and I click on it.
I know there's a link and I click on it when it's not Instagram, because you can't click on links on Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's ko-fi.com/squawking dead. Now, we've actually updated the goal recently, and that goal has now been updated to a hefty amount, because what we're trying to do right now is I just added basically $90 a month of advertising. That's $30 a month for Facebook, Instagram, $30 a month for Twitter, and $30 a month for YouTube, which is a new one, which is very interesting.
People don't know how much it is. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, just for one post on Instagram, the minimum is $5.
Oh yeah. It depends on the context. You can do an ad for as little as $1 a day.
I remember just clicking. I'm gonna click on create ad.
I want to boost a post, right?
On one picture of that I posted, like just to see what happens, and it was like $5. I'm like, no.
You want to hear something bananas? If you do it from mobile on Twitter, the minimum on the slider, and you can't like edit the number, is $50 a day.
Oh my God.
Right? So you have to go on the desktop, and then you have to do all the things, and it's not easy. When I was trying to promote New York Comic Con, it hurt my head so much that I don't even think I did it right. So
that literally gave me a headache.
Yeah, just hearing the amount and hearing I should show you the screens, by the way. It's bonkers. It's bananas. But it's kind of a necessary thing. We're at a point at which that I think we have something good going. You and I, audience, you, me, Nisa, Rachel, who happens to be here somewhere. We have something good going, right?
Yeah.
Don't we? It's our anniversary, baby. And I think, and the problem is that it's too good to share with just you and me. So let's bring others into the bedroom. Well, this isn't a bedroom, but it could be. But yeah, I mean, look, I have said this before and I will say it again. If we're getting, 40, we're not getting it lately, but if we're getting 20 likes from people that I know listen to the show, I'm fine. If I have a dedicated audience and they're happy and fine, I'm great. I'm actually really great. Like, I'd rather get feedback from 40 people than 400 or 4,000 or 40,000. Okay, that's a pipe dream. But the thing is that dream is never going to, like, so this is like the way I like to put it. There are people out there that are missing out on this podcast that don't know about it. And so advertising kind of fills that gap just a little bit. Yeah. It just says, hey, hi, we're here. Hi.
Yeah, we exist.
We exist.
We're fun.
Come along.
Come talk to us.
I think I've said this before, is that as much as I want you guys to share the content that we have, I don't like putting that on you. I'll say, hey, share a clip or something, or share this YouTube video. Nobody does that.
But you don't.
Nobody's going to do that. That is actually, it is worth way more than money. To be honest, and it's free. But yeah, and that does us a world of good, but nobody's going to do that. I mean, I can't put that on the audience, and I'll say to do it, but I won't expect it. And that's what's crazy and this is what I found out. And it's that people will probably opt to pay $3 a month to keep the party going rather than share out a video. Cause that's time, and people, like, actual time is worth way more than money. Like a cup of coffee, like the cost of a cup of coffee is easier than having to share a video, because that's time, and I don't want to take time away from any of you. This is supposed to be adding to your life, not taking away. And so that's why I never say it, really. By the way, Rachel has been gathering your questions so that I can answer them. So just hang in there.
Yeah.
We're still doing a little bit of back and forth. There's some hardcore questions, and by the way, you don't have to call people out, Nisa. Like, if you want to keep the questions anonymous, I'm totally fine with that.
I just said Thorgum because he said, oh, you can say that I'm the one who asked this. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
He told me to say. So there was a question if like Carol, Rachel, Chris, other hosts, if they are also subscribers or coffee backers.
I think we sort of answered that, but just to be clear, no.
Yeah.
However, Chris did buy the podcast a coffee last month for my birthday, and that was very nice, and I appreciate it. No good deed goes unnoticed.
Yeah.
But to be like completely open, I have been going back and forth on whether I wanted to at least have any of the hosts put in at least $3 a month. If only to actually be able to see some of the hidden posts, because they can't see it unless they subscribe, and I have no like super admin rights to be able to show it to them. Like, I will share some of the unedited videos in our chats because
they can't see it.
They can't see it. Yeah. So there's no like backdoor admin access for them to be able to see those things. But I mean, we do have a Slack, and Slack, in case people don't know, it's kind of like Discord. It's like a chat platform. It looks nicer than Discord, and we use this to communicate on various channels, like for episode chatter, for logistics, to find out who's available for a show, to podcast, who's going to be giving us videos for morning squaffy, various things. For cons also, for like the camp, and we used it for Walker Stalker Atlanta. We used it for, when Camp Merrimack was in the fall. We kind of keep in touch in various threads in these channels, and we DM each other like every day, based on anything. Sometimes we just do random things, and we're trying to use it a little bit more and more lately. But the point of that is that most of the stuff that ends up being on coffee.com, it's going to be there anyway, because like video submissions, stuff I need to edit, they'll send through there, and then I'll grab it, and then I'll do like a little hibachi to it, and then it goes on the internet somehow. So Chris can hypothetically see it, but not everybody else. I've been toying with the idea of getting them to do that too, if only to help fund it. But like at the same time, I value their time so much, and their input and their friendship, that I've always erred on the side of just, I can't even pay them. So, that's always been in the back of my mind. And it kind of goes to what this AMA is all about. Like, why it came about is that I want to be able to pay these guys for their time. I want to be able to like say, okay, per episode, you get X amount of dollars, because that's the value that this episode's producing because of advertising, which we have none. Like, we're not making money off of this. There's no advertising revenue. We're not not even getting the views necessary to even qualify for any of that stuff. You need 10,000 watch hours a year on sorry, I think it's 5,000 or 10,000. 10,000 on YouTube for sure. 5,000 on Facebook. I'm not even sure if that's real anymore. You need 1,000 followers at least. So we have that on Instagram. We don't have that on YouTube. So we don't even qualify for that stuff. So like we don't even have the numbers to be able to make money. And so it's just a constant drain. Like it's a constant drain on my personal finances. So and so how can I even ask Rachel or Carol or Chris or Ashley or anybody else to contribute when it's like, I should be paying you. You shouldn't be paying me. You guys have been so awesome, helpful, treasure, everything. So, so I'm always going to side on that side of the argument, I mean, there is a part of me that says, oh, well, maybe it'd make them feel good to give us something a month, make them feel nice inside. I'm like, no, my parents raised me differently. So that's the way it stays.
But yeah, most of the questions were basically on the same level of where does the money go to? Which if you go to the website, it's there. I mean, you can see exactly how much goes everywhere.
Yeah.
But people don't go to the website.
This goes to a bigger conversation that all of us have been having a lot lately. It's not just me and you. We literally had a big exchange of ideas this morning about what it takes to actually see something on the internet. Like to actually read something and then actually click something on the internet. But I'll get to that in a second. But just to reiterate, our goals, our goal on ko-fi.com/squawkingdead, it's all about breaking even. And even then, we're not breaking even.
The road to sustainability.
Yeah, the road to self-sustainability. So even those amounts at the top, that's just like static amounts that I can actually quantify, right? There's that whole section at the bottom that I can't even begin to tally the costs. And not only that, it's not only about me. It's like, I would love to be able to tally the costs of Chris, of Rachel, Carol, anybody that's coming to like all these cons, that comes to NYCC. Like I would love to be able to reimburse them for everything, and I mean, I've paid my friend Matt for the camera work he provided for New York Comic Con. That came out of my own pocket. So there's a bunch of things like airfare, tickets, travel, parking. I don't even include the artist commissions, the giveaway prizes, the giveaway platform which we use to actually do the giveaways. All that stuff is not even part of that goal. That's just and I'll tell you, that bottom part is way more than like our yearly hosting costs. Like
Cameo, it's like the video giveaway from Cameo. I mean, that's pretty expensive.
Yeah, it was actually way more expensive when we did in February of last year.
That's pretty expensive.
It was about $600 expensive.
I went there to see how much it was, and I'm like, no, I can't. I'm gonna cry. I can't.
Ross Marquand and Kari Payton's prices have dropped significantly since then, by the way, just so you know. So I think you went from like 195 or 295 down to like 95, something like that. So I don't know. It's still a lot. Yeah.
Still a lot.
That's the bigger question is, why do we even ask for money? And so there's a lot to it, right? It's kind of like a two-parter. Why we ask for money is, well, it helps recoup the costs. As you can see now, it's a lot of money. And I want to add more to it, but there's a part of me that says, well, hold off on that until you get more. Like until you reach some sort of break even. But then there's another part of me that goes, you really do have to spend money to make money. And so I'll spend on advertising. Now I finally put the advertising in the goal, but there are things like I want to do like Shopify, like where you click on an Instagram post and it says link in bio, and then we go to the link in bio, and then it automatically has the same Instagram grid, but then you can actually click the link and it'll take you to the article or the YouTube stream or whatever it is, and so we're not telling you to go to youtube.com/squawkingdead, or we can just tell you to just click link in bio, click the actual picture that you just clicked on, and then it'll take you there. But that costs tons of money a month to actually enable. Yeah, unfortunately. It's just, there's tools like that would make my life so insanely easier. Well, moderately easier. But again, that costs a lot of money. And so at some point the show kind of takes too much that I'm prepared to give. It's like prepared to put out. And that you could say that I was going to say pussying out, but now I said it anyway. So
now you just said it.
Yeah. But like, it's like, oh, you're shrinking back. Well, we don't even have the numbers we don't have the audience numbers to justify me just just putting money into something that nobody's watching, you know, and that's been like the ire of you know, what we've been doing. And I do everything with love. I mean, first and foremost, like everything that we've been doing, we do because we love it and it's fun, and we're talented at it. And I'm proud to say that. And any of our hosts are not prepared to say that, speak now or forever hold your peace. I know who would say that, but you are talented, Rachel. And so you are a treasure to the show. And so is Carol. Carol is my OG, my morning star. She's my northern star. Like when I'm lost, she will pick me up and say, "You're found." So move along now.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. And so
both of them.
And Chris is like insane. Like Chris is like your backpack that has everything in it. Like for some reason I found him and I'm never going to put him down again.
It's like MacGyver's Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I try not to overuse him because he's a beautiful man with beautiful dreams and a beautiful heart. And I would never want to feel like I've ever taken advantage of him or anything like that. And he's just been such a great guy, and he's just a great friend, you know, and friends don't take advantage of friends. Sometimes they do, but that's okay because that's friendship. So who cares?
Exactly. Sometimes we do. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. One question was also how many coffee backers do you have so far? Because I actually did look at the website.
Okay.
But it says like coffee X 175.
So yeah, that's how many coffees we've technically received. Yeah, okay. I can maybe pull up.
I didn't know if that was it, so I thought I'm just gonna ask.
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, I should probably see.
Yeah, someone asked me, and I'm like, I don't know. I guess ask him.
You know, it doesn't really break it down by people. I mean, it's not a big amount. What's interesting? It's like a lot of these are repeat sellers, repeat people. Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe.
Yeah, you can see the three top there. One of them, we all know who he is, Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas, Celtic TSO.
Yes.
We had some like amazing coffee backers lately too. Like I was afraid we'd never see you there again, Thomas. Yeah, I can't really get you the number of people that are following. Not without maybe digging, but I mean, I know there's some APIs, right? I just want to answer Lois's question right now, which says, I want to know if it's cold there. She goes, and I'm like, it's actually really, really hot in here, but like, this is like security sweater. I promise I've washed it at some point.
Wow, so, I have a fan on my face because just too hot in here. Too hot.
It must be us. It must be us.
Definitely Squawking Dead.
Anyways, let's not get in trouble.
Anyway, let's move on.
All right, so let's take some audience questions. Yeah.
Yeah. Päivi on Facebook wants to know why The Walking Dead. I think they mean why that topic for a podcast.
Oh, why The Walking Dead? That's a really good question because I've been on radio before, and like I mentioned this at the top of the show, but I've been on radio before. I've been on internet radio too, and I guess it was just the timing. Like I was watching The Walking Dead. I had been watching The Walking Dead religiously, and I kind of quit doing the music thing probably about like a year and a half prior. And there was just a part of me that was itching to do something creative again, and so that's what I started to do. Yeah, and so it was a way for me to flex a little bit, like to flex my muscles a bit when it comes to editing, actually mostly. But I also kind of wanted to increase my acumen when it came to speaking publicly, and I had so many thoughts on the show, but I also had so many thoughts on life and both my political and like interpersonal and philosophical opinions have been evolving ever since before then. And I mean, you're talking about like, you know, a year after Donald Trump was elected, and which is kind of like this weird watershed moment in politics, but also in like philosophy, like what matters, what doesn't matter, things like that. And it all kind of swirled into the show. Like there was some parallels I was seeing in the show, and I didn't really get a chance to really explore it too much, like in the beginning of when we started podcasting. But like I could feel like as I was getting older, like, you know, I was reaching 40, and like your brain, you do start to realize what actually matters versus what doesn't matter. And this is, of course, I'm being so cryptic. I'm not really letting you in on what I think politically or whatnot, unless you ask me directly. But but it was a kind of a chance to kind of actually explore some of these ideas that I've been thinking about via the show, like things like communism, like democracy, capitalism, bartering, utopia. You know, we brought these things up a lot in when we're doing like covering season 8, and so I found a way to kind of weave those things in, and then like it gave me like a chance to, through narrative, to kind of explore those ideas.
Just to add to what you said, I mean, that is a really good point, because the show, it does reflect a lot on what's happening in real life. So you can, you know, vent on that, on our reality politically or whatever, via The Walking Dead. So yeah, that's a very good reason for choosing The Walking Dead. For
in an extreme case, The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead, like the end of the world.
Right. Extreme bartering.
The dead came back to life.
Yeah.
That's how life is now.
Extreme living, extreme dying, extreme capitalism. So yeah, that's basically what it is. So Lena Land 96 had a question on Twitter, like my Linda. My question about the last episode: do you think Alpha has doubts about Negan's intentions? And the answer that I have is actually yes. I think she knows better now. I don't know about doubts about Negan per se, but I think she has doubts all over.
Oh yeah.
Feeling that Beta's challenging her, like in the earlier episodes, Gamma betraying her, but also knowing that she didn't give her everything. And Negan now, Alpha would be stupid to actually put herself completely in Negan's hands, I think. And I think it shows, you know, in the way she chose to, in case you had, I think most people have watched this, spoiler alert for the last episode. I think that taking Negan's suggestion further, eliminate the Hilltoppers and making them walkers. That shows kind of like, I know what you're trying to say. I'm not stupid, Negan, but I had a better idea thanks to you. And I don't think she's sharing everything with him. I don't.
Oh no.
I think she's holding back.
Yeah, she doesn't share. I don't think she shares everything, even with Beta.
Yeah, exactly. I think she shares more with different people. Like if all those different people got together, maybe they'd know everything. Maybe.
Yeah, but, like, you know, the Dante situation. You know, like you know, in this last episode, like, oh, you know, I think it was in this last episode, like, you didn't know about Dante. Like, no, I didn't know about this guy. I don't know everything, because, you know, Alpha, she tells everyone different things, like, this is your role and I'm not gonna tell anyone else about this, only I know. Right.
It's starting to become clear, right? Yeah, we kind of talk about this a little bit more in the episode, but I didn't want to dwell on this one too much. But yeah. Whispers UK asks a bunch of questions. If you could have any 3 people, past or present, on the podcast to guest appear, who would they be? 3 people. Why 3 people, Darren? Why? That's a lot of people. Jeepers creepers. Let me just pick one. I would love to, I think I've even said this before, maybe. I would love to have, the guy that played Noah, William Tyler James, is it? Or James Tyler William?
Tyler.
His screen name
that's
trips
his
me
full
up.
name, but I don't remember the order.
I would like to have him. I want to pick his brain, because it's that like meld of like everyone hates Chris to.
I made a joke. Everyone ate Chris when he died.
Everyone hates Chris.
Everyone ate Chris, and I put that on Facebook, and everyone was like, "I can't believe you did this. This is I'm crying here," and I'm like, "I'm crying too," but I had to.
I was too, but I would probably cry with laughter also at that joke.
I was crying with laughter as well. I mean, everybody ate Chris because everyone ate him.
That was a horrible scene, but that is a funny joke.
It was. I mean, it came to me and I'm like, I gotta post this now. And I was still crying over his death.
What's the most dumb injury you've ever had? I can tell this story now. I was very young. I was like maybe 5 years old, and I didn't want to go to my room, Dad. And he played this like actual. Do you know in the cartoons, like with, I think it was Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, like he goes, no, he went over there. He goes, no, he went over there. 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 Yeah, he went over there. And then like he would convince him to go the other direction by pointing the other direction midway. And so my dad did that to me. And basically, I ran into him, stumbled back, and broke my leg. Stupidest injury I've ever received.
Oh my God.
Because I didn't want to go to my room, and then I tripped over my own legs, pinned myself by my own legs, and it just broke. It just snapped. Ugh.
That's horrible.
Horrible. I passed out from the pain.
I'm laughing, but that's horrible.
I blacked out. It was so bad. He had to call my uncle. He was so afraid. My uncle down the road. He's like, my boy, he's never been hurt before. If you had to take one dearly departed character from seasons 1 to 4 and put them in your current season, who would you choose and why? So who? Dale Horvath. Immediately, Dale Horvath. There is like something about... So first of all, Jeffrey DeMunn is a tremendous actor.
Yes, he is.
I'm sorry, but fuck you. I like moral compasses. 3... I mean, see, you didn't include season 6, and that was your mistake, or 6, 7, because I would have chosen Glenn, and that would have been tough for me because I still would have chosen maybe Dale, but yeah, Glenn Horvath for sure. Why? Why not? Why can't he survive till the end? Carol did. She wasn't supposed to make it past season 2, 3.
He wasn't supposed to die, actually. It was Herschel.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
I would bring Shane.
But, well, yeah, I know you would. Oh, yeah. You know what? Walani said Herschel. Like, if it was between Herschel and Dale, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I'd probably still pick Dale because I'm an asshole. I know it. Oh, man. Scott Wilson. Rip Scott Wilson.
Oregon wants to know, again, if fans can join and if they have to pay.
So he's wondering why fans can't join the podcast. There are
I understand his question.
Okay, so that is a better question. Why can't fans join the podcast? Number one,
as guest hosts,
right? Okay, let me do. So this is a two-parter. I'm going to give you the salty, and then I'm going to give you the sweet. Right? Okay, the sour, and then the sweet. Right? The sour is the way we've been doing podcasts lately is pre-recorded, and the only way you can be a part of the pre-recorded is via ko-fi.com/squawking dead. We give people the Zoom meeting ID for that recording because we do record through Zoom. We also do the backup YouTube stream in case Zoom isn't quite working for you. So we do that through there. We actually broadcast from Zoom straight to YouTube. Yeah,
like people, we're not on Instagram actually.
Yeah,
right
we're on
now.
Zoom right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the software on my end is I'm doing a lot of trickery on my end to broadcast, but when we do record the episodes, we just take out all those complications. This is a lot of work because I've got this OBS window open, I've got this XSplit window open, I have Restream chat, I have the Zoom chat here, I have the participants here, I have the Instagram chat there. So when we record, I take off all those annoyances. I just have the Zoom window, and that's it. And I just press a couple buttons, and we're good to go. And so that makes my life easier. And more than anything else, the reason why we do that is because when we were doing this live, there was a lot of distractions. We'd have to keep restarting the Instagram stream. As much as I loved the interaction, and it really literally saved this podcast life, I want to keep that podcast alive for your sake. You birthed it, you helped birthed it, and I need to carry it to term. So the only way I'm going to do that is to increase the quality of the show. We need to bang it out. So yes, there is a paywall to be in the chat, at least to be in the real-time chat. Now, to be a host, there are going to be opportunities for coffee backers to be guest hosts. Yes, there are going to be opportunities. We had a recent one when it came to the trailer breakdowns. That was episode 87. We had Aaron on because he was the only one that answered the call. And so that's why he was on the show. He gave us $3 that month, and he was just smart enough to answer the call. And he came on, and we had a really great show, a fun experience. And it was a lot of fun. He's like, I want to do that again. I was like, yeah, we're going to try to do that again. I'm not going to say when, but we will. Now, that was the salty, and that wasn't so bad, right?
No,
or not
that
the
was
salty.
actually good.
Sorry, that was a sour. This is the sweet. There will be also opportunities that I'm going to throw out there at some point. Now, it's not going to be, fair warning, it's definitely not going to be one of any main episodes. It will be something that's in between seasons. So like a mid-season break. It will be a group hangout. It may be an overall general discussion, but there will be opportunities hopefully in the future because the schedule's really, really, really tight, that we will open it to the public. We will be opening this to the public. We will give you the Zoom meeting details. We'll have you join. It'll be a shit show for sure, but it will be fun. We can give this a try and see if it works. And it might not work, but it might work. You never know. It's not as if we want to block everybody out and restrict people. No, but we need help. We don't have the numbers, and it takes a lot of work to get the show off the ground. And I know that a lot of it's on me to actually make the show work. But so this is the second part of the original question about why we ask for money. And I never got to it. Giving money is a way for people to feel like they're a part of something, for sure. Any crowdfunding effort. So you're talking about whether it's a Patreon. Patreon and coffee are the same thing, except coffee is just a lot prettier. It's a lot prettier. It's a lot simpler. To be honest, the fees, there are no fees. I pay them. That's one of the part of the costs in the self-sustainability goal is you just pay them this amount per year and they give you all these features. And so done. We did that. And so they're not taking a cut from, PayPal is, fuck PayPal, but they're not taking a cut of every coffee sale.
Even if you're donating like for GoFundMe to save someone's life, you donate $5, they take $1.
Yeah.
So it's actually $6.
Yeah, it's like something between 3 and 6% or something like that.
I'm like, wait, why? I'm trying to save someone's life here. But no, okay.
The thing of it is that like you don't have to use PayPal. So anyway. And so I can set up Stripe, but again, it goes back to the original question. Stripe costs money. To do Stripe, I can do that and the percentages will be a lot less, but it means I have to pay a little bit more. But it is something I have planned because I do want to use Stripe when it comes to the merch store. And that's the thing, like the chicken has to come before the egg. I have to be self-sustainable to start doing, or at least close to it, to start doing some of these things like getting Stripe, having people do it through Stripe so that you can join me, Nisa, in the recordings, like in the real-time chat, So, if I can do that, I'm for sure I can take money in worldwide, easily, So that's kind of like part of the journey.
What do you thought of Sunday's episode?
Oh, well, we recorded it already and it is in our coffee chat. Sorry, it is in our coffee-backed unedited recording. I'll say this much. Holy shit. That's what I'll say. I have. There's something to be said. Now, this is something I didn't say on the show. There's something to be said about an episode that was so well crafted and so well staged. Like there was still like an adequate amount of action, obviously at the end. And in the back of our mind, we knew that the Battle of Hilltop would not be until the end of the episode. And when that usually happens, you're like, come on already, can we get to the Battle of Hilltop? It was staged in such a way that it was like, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. It's good. This is just the right amount of time.
Yeah, it was like...
Right? It was a little frustrating, but it was worth it.
No, but and there's,
You can say it, what?
Just, Judith. She's so grown up for a kid.
A little too grown up.
She's not worried about herself. She's worried about what's gonna happen to her mom, to her brother, because he's so little. Like, oh my God, kid, you're so little too.
Yeah, and I don't think we expressed it as much in the show, but her saying it that way was her way of saying, I'm scared too. I just don't want to show it because everybody knows that I'm a kid. So I can't say that I'm scared.
Oh, and I love, the way that, when she remakes Daryl's wing, and that's just, like Rick would be so proud. I think of their relationship, like Uncle Daryl.
Answer me this, aren't you in a weird way proud? Like there's a part, like a personal, I'm proud of you, Judith, even though she's a fictional character.
So proud of Judith. Like I literally watched her birth.
I guess so.
We all watched her birth.
Walker Lori. What? Gross.
Yeah. But now she's like this big girl, this big ass kicker.
Big, yeah.
So little.
She's a medium-sized ass kicker.
Yeah, medium-sized ass kicker, but still an ass kicker.
Well, let's go on to the next question.
Thomas wants to know if you stock Pio TP.
Yeah, like Daryl said in the episode, that window has closed. So I guess we're gonna do cloth.
I guess cloth works. Oh my god, that is one of my biggest questions of The Walking Dead. Like
toilet paper? Woo!
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Should I start stocking it? I don't know.
Well, if you don't have a problem, maybe you should take a little extra. That's all I'm gonna say. I say, I mean, take enough to like get past the 2 week quarantine, right? If you have to be at home for 2 weeks and have to be constantly at home, I don't know how much is that. That's not that much, is it?
No, it's not a lot.
Well, like maybe 2, maybe 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Mierda. Anyways.
Yeah. Literally.
Okay. Thomas is sending a fuck, marry, kill scenario. Rosita, Maggie, and Tara.
I would marry Rosita.
Okay.
So that leaves me fuck and kill. Sorry, Tara. I'm gonna kill her and I'm gonna fuck marry Maggie.
Yeah. My modification. Now you have to say why, though.
Oh, I have to say why. Okay. Rosita. I like her. She's Latina like me. I would marry her. So like, let's say if we could have babies, we cannot, but they would be beautiful.
Oh yeah. I'm
just saying.
Oh,
and
wow.
I think we would look badass together as a married couple. And fuck Maggie. I love the actresses. I don't know. I would just. I don't know. It's just
you're
a
less
one-night
emotionally
thing.
invested than Maggie.
Yeah, and less emotionally invested in Maggie. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have to kill Tara because that's the only option left. Because but yeah, I would marry Rosita anytime.
Well, Tara's sexuality makes my choice a little easier. Like you have no excuse, or you have less excuses, right? Like me, I would say killing Tara is easy because like, oh, okay, I guess that's the only option for her because she'd probably rather die than be with me.
True.
And I would, and just like typical waifu boy, I would pick Maggie to marry and Rosita to fuck, right? I mean, it's not a hard choice. Like I could see some people marrying Rosita, but like I think that's a losing option, really.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot going on with Rosita and me that as people, even though she's a fictional character, that I understand. So I think maybe what she needs is me to marry.
I think you guys would help each other out, to be honest.
Exactly. And maybe I'm exactly what she needs in her life, not Gabriel.
Oh, don't you dare split them up. Okay, I'm kidding.
No, I have screenshots of them together and I think it's cute.
I think, it was the last episode where I went all hot for Preacher. Yeah, Father Gabriel. Ooh. Anyway.
Yeah. When he killed Dante, that was like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That does it
when
for
he killed
me.
Dante all the way to what he's like, everything he said to Mary in the cell. He's like, yeah, God asked me to hang you. And I was just like, oh, Gabriel, something was just went alive in my body.
Yeah, it's like that blood, that's the last whisperer I killed. I'm like, oh, badass.
Yeah, the last whisperer I killed. Yeah, that's him. That's what's left of him. Let me just read out Rachel's. Fuck Rosita, marry Tara. Marry Tara. Huh, kill Maggie. That's really interesting. That's like we all picked different people.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Holy crap. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say hi to Captain Philip from Poland, if he's still around.
Captain Philip.
That's a new one for me. Yeah, just want to say hi. Yeah. Fuck all you regulars. I'm kidding. I love you guys. Yeah, Captain Philip's still there. Yeah, Captain Philip. Yeah, by the way, sorry, Captain Philip. This is more of an AMA. This isn't really an episode breakdown. So this is more like me fielding questions about what I think randomly, and also like what we've been doing on the podcast, why we do what we do, who we are. We do episode breakdowns weekly, and we've been talking a little bit about why you should support us and why you should follow us on, or at least create a follower account on ko-fi.com/squawkingdead, because you want to know what's going on. You kind of want to know any cool things we're going to do, any giveaways you want to be, where you want to be at the early jump instead of some schmuck, like 5 days later, with the plebes, like, oh, can I have a shout out from Roswell Marquardt? No? Okay, fine. Päivi said, wow, Päivi's with Rachel. I'd totally kill Maggie too. Wow. Wow, I'm so my world is widening. Actually, I thought there
a lot
was a
of
lot
people
more
who would kill
fans.
Maggie, actually.
I thought there were a lot more fans of Maggie. And what's funny is like I like Maggie because she's the kind of strong that I can get behind, like fully behind. Yeah. Like she's just she's so confident. Yeah, well, yes, also, but I.
That's
but,
where
like,
my mind went.
She's so smart, tactical. She has like grit, and she's not afraid to stand up for her people, and that I really like that. So,
me too. That's why I can't kill her.
That's why you have to kill her. Maggie.
I can't kill Maggie. But I can't marry her either because Rosita and we have a thing.
It's got strong. A thing going on. Yeah, and by the way, Päivi, I almost laughed when you said Dave has more screens than the bridge of the Enterprise. True. No, not true. I wish, but I'm working on it. I can't afford it. Money, please. By the way, I don't use your money for that stuff, though. I would never. Actually, I don't even use your money. That's the thing. All the money that I'm gathering right now, it's going towards next year's bills. So all those costs, like they're all going there. Like we're going to be starting to use that money next year. I mean, unless we get funded quicker. If we get funded quicker, I can earmark that somewhere else. I can be like, goodbye. See ya next year. See you next Tuesday. Oh, Tom is echoing my sentiments. Marry Maggie, kill Tara, but I love Alana. I know you do, by the way. And plenty of fun with Rosita.
I love Alana. That's what it's hard to kill Tara because I love Alana, but
yeah. I mean, look, it's hard for me too.
You left me no choice.
If you like what you heard, give us a like. If you haven't already and you've stuck around, I love you, but gotta show us some love. Share this video. If you don't know what I was talking about, I mentioned that earlier. And by the way, the best thing you can do, once this comes out on audio, rate thispodcast.com/SQUAWKING DEAD 5 stars and just leave an eggplant, and it'll be a secret between me and you. Just leave an eggplant. 5 stars and an eggplant. And by the way, I would love to see the charts show, they have 5 stars, but all these comments are eggplants, and it'll just be, it's us, between me and you. Tell us we're wrong. Give us a thumbs down. If you don't like what you heard, tell us. And if you have any more questions, there are many ways to ask them. The comments, you can DM us. You can DM us straight from the website. There's a little widget on the bottom right corner where you can use Facebook or Twitter to straight DM us. So don't hesitate. If I've made it so that I've created an environment where you feel like you can't come to me with any question, tell me. Like, there's something I want to tell you, but I want to make sure I'm safe. Do that, and I will create an environment that's open for you to ask as many questions as you want, as many questions as I can answer. I always try to be as honest as possible. I tend not to hold back, even though I probably should. But just so you guys know, like I want to be completely open and honest with you with any ideas, and no question is stupid. Like, to be perfectly honest, there's a reason why we have a diverse amount of voices on the podcast, because every angle of every thought gets plumbed. It gets picked and plumbed and rooted out, and sometimes the episodes are long because of it, just like this one probably. But here we are.
There's always like, I agree with Carol. No, now I agree with Rachel. No, I agree with Dave now. Because
exactly, and no stone is left unturned. And we may not all agree, right? But at least our voices are out there, and your comments are welcome, and especially the real time chat, and and especially afterwards and during when we premiere the episodes for the public, our chats are amazing. There's things that we miss and opinions that we hadn't thought of, and and it's just amazing to be there with you to kind of get the ability to discuss this even further. So with that, everybody, thank you very much, Nisa. I really appreciate you coming over and helping me out with this.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, and I hope we do this in the future again, and maybe I should be available more for these Instagram lives, and we'll just invite each other on. We'll like in the old days when I made time for stuff like that.
Well, to be honest, I haven't really been doing lives or anything either. So.
Do you know why? Because you have a life. You live a life of mystery.
I have a life. Fuck off.
Yeah. She needs to make but not TikTok videos, reaction videos again.
Yeah, I do, because they're hilarious, actually.
Exactly.
I drop stuff on myself all the time. Always.
Damn. Oh man, I gotta watch those. In any case, thank you for joining us. Take care, everybody. Love you, and hopefully you'll get to see us soon in episode 91, Morning Star. The content's already out unedited. We just gotta bring it together for the public audience, and that's been very difficult. But soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.